Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Old City, Jerusalem right now. And there would be some scholars who would say that when the earliest Christians said that Jesus rose from the dead, they never intended for people to believe that it was a bodily event that would leave behind an empty tomb. Rather, they suggest that resurrection was simply a metaphor used to suggest that the person was now vindicated by God, especially when referring to a Jewish martyr. In that case, Jesus would have been just the most recent to step in a long line of Jewish martyrs, and that God had vindicated them, and that's what is meant by the term resurrection. Surprisingly, this is perhaps the most easily refuted objection to the resurrection that there is. Paul is perhaps the earliest Christian author of the New Testament literature. And in 1 Corinthians, which was written somewhere around between the year 50 and 55, within 20 to 25 years of Jesus' crucifixion, in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 20, Paul says, Christ is the first fruits of those who sleep, meaning that Christ is the first to be raised from the dead with a resurrection body. And at the general resurrection, which began with Jesus. And in verse 23, he answers the question of when believers will be raised, and he says, each in his own order. Christ the first fruits, after that, those who belong to Christ at his coming. So Jesus is the first to be raised in the resurrection, and then believers, those who follow him, will be raised when Jesus returns. So contrary to what some scholars would say, that Jesus was just the last person of most recent to step in a long line of Jewish martyrs to be vindicated by God, the earliest Christians were proclaiming that Jesus was the first fruits. By his resurrection, he was the first to be raised in a resurrection body, and that those who follow him will be raised when Jesus returns.